fitness gram pacer test is a
Fears. I have them. We all have them. Unless you're a superhuman, in that case, you do not exist. People have all sorts of fears, for all different types of reasons. Fear of heights, fear of spiders, fear of a duck constantly casting its watchful gaze upon you. There's no ducks, right? No ducks around here. Whew, okay, good. So to deal with my countless irrational fears so I can sleep at night, I'm gonna tell them all to you. Or how many I can fit into this video. And also, yes, one of the reasons I'm doing this video is because it's Spooky Month, yeah, boy! And before we talk about my fears, I want to talk about my little sister, whose name is definitely, Anne, and her intense claustrophobia. Just in case you've been living under a rock, claustrophobia is the fear of smaller, cramped spaces, like prison cells, elevators, this recording booth. And that claustrophobia makes Anne deathly afraid of elevators, and more specifically, the possibility that it could jam and you could be trapped inside. I remember there was one specific time when we were visiting a friend of our parents in the hospital after she had an operation, and Anne's first thought when we got in the car was,
"Wait, does the hospital have multiple stories? Are we gonna have to use the elevator? Oh god, we're gonna get trapped in here inside! Die!"
And my mom, being the kind, loving soul she is, said, "We're not gonna die, and if we do get trapped inside, we can just use the emergency button inside."
Yeah, but what if there's no emergency button and we can't open the doors? And we try and call 911, but there's no phone service in the elevator.
And this back and forth chatter of whether we're going to die in an elevator or not goes all the way to the hospital, and by that time, poor Anne could barely bring herself to walk inside.
Come on. I know you can do it. Quick, behind you, it's an elevator!
So we got inside and went up to the counter and asked the lady what room they were in. Anyways, do you know what floor they're on? Oh yeah, sure, let me pull that up. Alright, here we go. They're on the 7th floor. 7th floor, that shouldn't be too bad, eh, Anne? Anne? Turns out they were on the 7th floor, and my sister lost it. We spent a long time looking around in the hospital to find a staircase, and there were none. Luckily, the friend's husband, who was another friend of my mom's, was waiting for us in the lobby, and my mom told him all about the elevator and how we couldn't find stairs. Luckily, the husband was a mechanic, so he told Anne that if the door's shut, he'd just do his magic engineer stuff on the door and open it. So we got in and went up, and the elevator stopped on the 7th floor. And you know that little few seconds before the elevator doors open up to make sure nobody falls into the shaft by mistake? Well, my sister started to get scared and said,
"It's not opening! It's not opening!"
But sure enough, the doors opened just fine, and it was all okay. By the way, I am not making fun of claustrophobic people. It's actually super common, and I hope I didn't offend anyone. Time to move on to me. I have this fear called megalohydrothalassophobia, which is the fear of large animals or objects in the deep ocean. It's basically just a fear of giant squids and stuff. In all seriousness though, that will be terrifying. I've never really gone out into the deep ocean before, so I can only imagine. You're down 50 or 60 feet below the surface of the ocean, maybe because you're scuba diving, or maybe because you fell off a boat and don't know how to swim. And suddenly you see the shadow of something huge swim by in the distance. The scariest part of it all is that you have no idea what it is. It may very well be the occasional harmless whale that's just chilling there and swimming along, but there's a good chance that it's something we haven't even discovered. My point is, you could be mere inches away from a gargantuan, ungodly horror of the deep and not even realize it before it swallows you whole without even noticing you're there. This fear is sort of a special one, because outside of it actually happening, I think it's awesome. Just imagine you're in the deep ocean, you see a massive monolithic statue, or a humongous leviathan of some kind. It just makes my brain cells go. Okay, this next one everyone has had at some point as a kid. The fear of the dark or monsters at night. When I was 8 or so, my bed was at one corner of the room, right up against the wall, and the rest was just open floor. Whenever I was falling asleep, I was always sort of on the lookout if there was an unnatural entity in my room and I didn't see it yet. And around that time, I had an armada of stuffed animals on my bed. There was like 12 of them, and I was cycling through the possibilities of, what if it gets closer when I look away? What if it comes out and kills me when I fall asleep? So I did the big brain smart thing to do and got all my stuffed animals and made a giant wall around me, organizing bigger and more durable animals by how much I needed what body parts to survive. The little toes and such are less of a priority, but my head, That's where the big boys go. For those of you saying, I was never afraid of the dark in the slightest as a kid, you don't have to pretend. This channel is a no judgment zone. Just remember, I'm much more cowardly than you. This next one is actually one of my dog's fears. Her name is Luna, and she's a sweet, chill little trauma-laden doggo. She's scared of a lot of things, actually. Probably because she's a rescue. She's afraid of flashlights, which would make sort of sense. If you were on the street at night and saw a blinding beam of death coming towards you, you would probably want to run. However, what does not make sense is that I have this little strip of LED lights under my bed, so it's not totally pitch black when I'm sleeping. And every time she comes into my room, if she doesn't get up on my bed, she'll lay on the floor and stick her head under those lights to where they're right above her, and she's pretty stubborn about getting in any other position. She's also afraid of paper towels for no apparent reason, and she's also deathly afraid of bubble machines. Actually, right now, I've got my other dog in here right now in my hands. Her name is Hilda. She's the other one. She's loud and unruly, but right now she's eating a potato that I gave her to bribe her to come in here. So, Hilda, say something to your community. Okay, thank you for that wonderful speech. You've earned your freedom. Now go. Okay, so I have a few more fears to tell you guys, but to prevent this video from becoming way too long, speed round! I'm afraid of school intruders, I'm afraid of the sun exploding, I'm afraid of what happens after death, I'm afraid of creepypastas, I'm afraid of Trevor Henderson, I'm afraid of Royal Raven becoming so popular that she forgets about me, and I'm afraid of bees. Alright, that list of things I just said, you are to never talk to me about. Ever. Please. Thank you. I love you. Mwah. Oh, and before I end this video, I'd like to give a shout out to Smooth Brain Forever! He posts similar stuff that I post, and if you're like me, he will probably sometimes be the only thing that's between you and the big sad. Cristiano, if you see this, hi! And I'd also like to give a big shout out to my friend Max the One. Max posts cool gaming videos and animations that are actually really funny and awesome. He's a super cool guy, so make sure to go check him out. Link in the description. Oh, and just because I have dogs doesn't mean my opinion has changed. Cats are better than dogs. Also, I hope you guys are having a great Halloween. And also, since it's spooky month, I'll release a spooky music video for you guys to enjoy. It's a surprise. Anyways, make sure to like and subscribe if you like my content. Anyways, subscribe.